Hello everybody and happy Wednesday. Welcome to the new video for this week. This week is all about our 2023 Homeschool Term 1 curriculum picks. Because we do our terms a little bit differently and because I make the curriculum that we're using, and I'm usually making it like either at the time we're using it or just right ahead of the time we're using it. I'm not gonna release the whole year in this video. I'm just gonna do Term 1 and then I'll be doing Term 2 soon as well because I already know what we're doing for that. So look for a blog post as well, and let's get right started. And let's get started. All right, so like I mentioned, we do things a little bit differently, first of all. And the reason for that is, like I said, I'm making everything that we're using, and it's just easier for us to not plan out the whole year at once. So generally we plan about 3 to 6 months at a time of what we want to do, and we usually plan that around the seasons. So for example, I have planned out the first 5 or 6 months of the year. Sorry, I had to grab the baby monitor. So I planned out the first 5 or 6 months of the year, and I can put that in the blog post, like what we're hoping to do, but it is subject to change, which is why I'm not releasing it all at once, and not all of the curriculum we're going to be using is done yet, because like I said, I usually make it like the month before, sometimes even the week before is when it's finished. Sometimes my kids actually help me make it, and that, like with the Magic School Bus curriculum, the curriculum that's based on Magic School Bus books, that's what we did, is they helped make it while we were schooling with it, so I didn't release it until after the term. So it really depends on what we're studying, what curriculum we're using, what month it is, and what season it is, and that will determine sort of what we're using and if I'm going to release it ahead of time or not. So let's go ahead and get started on this term. Okay, so first I'm going to show you here on the board. Hopefully you can see it, hopefully it's the right way. The video should switch around because I'm just looking at it the wrong way since I'm mirroring. But the first thing that I wanted to talk about was our main curriculum that we're using. Now, we go back and forth between science and history usually because it's easier for us to dive deep into one without saying, you know, Monday we're learning about this, Tuesday we're learning about this, Wednesday we're back to this, Thursday we're back to this. And so we started doing this last year, and it works really, really well for our family. So each term will generally have a focus. But for our unschooling calendar that we're using, it actually has both science and history, which is really nice. So every day is science, and then every Wednesday is also history. So first thing for art, recipes, science, STEAM studies, and history for this term, which is our January term, is science, and we're learning about space. So that is the curriculum for that, and I'll make sure I link all the curriculum in the caption or in the description. All right, so then devotional, which I should have said first because we do devotional first every day. Devotional, we're doing the New Testament this year. So if you're on my email list, you'll be getting these every week. It goes along with Come Follow Me that the church that I go to puts out, and then I just make a free devotional that goes along with it. So last year I made 52 weeks worth of Old Testament devotionals that are still free on my email list. This year is New Testament. So if you join the email list, which you can do by clicking the link in the description, you'll then get at least one email a week that comes with the freebie of the week. And let's see, this is not the front page, but what each does is it has a cover page. It has a list of what you're going to read and what day and what you can memorize. It's got a narration page and a drawing page and a word search, which is what my kids did yesterday. So I'll go ahead and show you the word search. And then I always have them date it on the top because it makes it easier for me when we're putting it into our portfolios at the end of the year or the end of the term, whenever we decide to do that. So that is devotional and science and history. Now for our morning work, we are doing a few things. We are singing some songs, and I don't have a resource for that. It's just something that we've printed out from our church. So we sing a song every day, and then they do their calendar work. So obviously today's the 11th, so we're up to the 11th on their calendar work, and it's the same as the calendar back here. It actually comes in the same pack. Our calendar pack comes with filled out and colored calendars, filled out and traceable calendars, non-filled out, like, you know, they have to trace it because it's in a lighter color. So that's what we do in the morning, is sing a song, they do their calendar work, then it's devotional time. Now for our read aloud, because we always have read alouds going. Read alouds are a huge part of our school, and that is also where the writing comes in. So next is read aloud and writing. All right, so the read aloud for this term is The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe, which is a favorite. We have either listened to or read this book, I don't know, probably 4 to 5 times. I'd say we did not read it last year. Nope, we didn't read it last year, but we read it the year before, we read it the year before, and we listened to it the year before that. So now we're going through it again. It's really simple. I mean, it has really nice chapters, and this is my favorite version so far that we've gotten. The pictures are just beautiful. They're small, you know, they're right in the text, and it's a nice way to break them up. And the chapters aren't really long, so we're just doing a chapter a day right now, and we're pairing it with the Winterschooling guide from the Ultimate Unit Study, which is my second business because it's a collaborative unit study business, meaning it's not just me making the resources. I collaborate with other wonderful creators in the homeschool community, and we come together and we make resources that go with a book. So this one was our release for December, and we're using it this month. And it comes with narration pages, you know, writing pages for each chapter, as well as it comes with some, you know, activities and stuff. And we've outlined it so that every chapter has an activity to go with it. Now, Narnia has 17 chapters. So what we have planned is 4 chapters last week, 4 chapters this week, 4 the next, and 5 the next. And on that last chapter, we'll also be watching the movie with it. And there's a really fun movie versus book comparison page. There's recipe pages. We made this cute little wardrobe project today. You know, we've done cooking, we've done all these fun things. And so what we'll do is we read the chapter and then we'll discuss the chapter. On the chapter pages, it always has a narration prompt, but they're also free to just tell me whatever it is that they learned or remembered about the chapter. And then they do the writing. My daughter is 8, so she does all of the writing. She'll do the tracing and the narration writing. My son, who's 6 and he's dyslexic, he does have a hard time writing. So he will do the tracing, and then sometimes I'll have him copy his narration. Sometimes I don't. It just depends on the day. But that is reading and writing. And the planner we're using is actually the undated planners from my shop. I am putting dated planners in there as well, but because we reverse plan, I wanted to make sure that we had something for reverse planning, but also that fits with unschooling, because what I do is I'll write down, you know, devotional or read aloud, writing, science or history. In this case, it's science, math, and then other. I wanted to make sure I had that extra space for other, because we write things down like, you know, Will decided to read by himself without prompting today, or they did Legos, or they played this game, or, you know, they did really well at this subject, or whatever it is that we can tie in and write down. I've got a space for that. And then the planner actually goes all the way to Sunday as well, so that if we decided I wanted to write anything down, like every night we read together before bed, the kids will both read the devotional and then I'll read Harry Potter. And to me, that counts as school, you know, or learning, whatever you want to call it. And so I'm able to write that down in there too, so that I can look back over the week and say, you know, I really feel good about what we did. I feel good about what my kids learned and the relationships in the family we're building. So that's what we're using for the planner, and it makes it really easy for me to write those down. Now, I have a different color for every month, and you can actually buy this planner exactly how I have it in my shop, or there are parts and pieces that you can look at too if you want it digitally. Totally up to you. And then the last thing is math. Now math, right now we're going through their exams, and I say exams like this because exams are a little bit different in our house. I actually posted a video about this, which I can link that in the description as well. But what we do is on Trello, which is our digital portfolio that I use a lot and I love it. And Trello is just the best. I have several videos on Trello. What I do is first I write down, or I'll copy and paste all of their standards from my Goals and Standards freebie that I've got, and I have given people permission to do that as well, only if they're using it this way. If they're using it any other way, obviously it's intellectual property infringement. But so what I do is I copy and paste those into Trello into checklists. So I've got an Ellie checklist and a Will checklist for each math unit, And then what I do is first I think like, okay, what have they been doing? Let me check off the ones that I know they know. You know, like Will, for example, I know he knows how to count to 20. I know he knows how to count to 100, 120, 200 because he does it all the time. I know he knows how to add and subtract within 20 because he does it all the time. For Ellie, I was like, oh, she has a solid handle on multiplication, addition, subtraction. You know, she's really good at this, that, and the other thing. But I was able to look at it and say, okay, these are the ones I'm not sure about, so let me ask them. I'll just ask them a simple question like, hey, Will, what's this number? What are the place value places in this number? See if he can point it out. And then for Ellie, I asked, you know, can you round this number to this place or to this place or to that place? And I was able to see that they needed a little bit of help with those. And instead of failing them or giving them a bad grade, what I'm able to do is just not check it off. And I can look at their whole list and say the ones that aren't checked off are the ones that we're gonna work on. That way they don't feel like, I already know this. Why am I doing this? Why are we wasting my time? I don't feel like we're wasting any time. I feel like they feel like I'm trusting them. It's really, really good. So for math, we use my hands-on math, which I have a preschool to second grade math pack and then a third grade math pack. And next month I'm gonna start working on the fourth grade math pack because my 8-year-old is just checking all of the third grade ones off. So that one's gonna be coming soon too. But it is hands-on math. There's 4 units, 4 units per unit, so 4 subunits. We've got numbers, which works on, you know, number sense, basic numbers, addition and subtraction. Then the 4 operations, which is addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division. You've got measurement and data, and you've got geometry. So geometry is something that we do a lot of in cooking, which is a lot of, you know, fractions, shapes, and things like that. So I'm also coming out with some more unschooling math because we have an unschooling garden math that was a huge hit last year during the summer, and we're totally gonna be doing that again. But those are coming out soon. Right now we have preschool to third grade, hands-on math. If you have a math request for a certain grade, just drop a comment, let me know, and I'll put that on my list. Because for right now, just 4th grade math is on my list. I'm just kind of moving along as we're going. Now I am gonna make sure that I link all of these in the description. I'm also going to be making a term 1 product pack that's on a huge discount on my website. If you want to use everything that we're using, maybe you have kids that are similar ages, I'm gonna go ahead and go and make a term pack, and I'll have some variations, like maybe you only have a 1st grader and you don't need the 3rd grade math, maybe you only have a 3rd grader. If you have any requests for me, like I said, feel free to comment me, feel free to comment, or email me at loveathomeeducation@gmail.com. Don't forget to subscribe, turn on that little notification bell so you never miss a post. We put out at least 1 video a week, and don't forget to like and share if this was helpful. And then we're also gonna have a blog post. I cannot talk today. We're gonna have a blog post on the subject. So be sure to check out the description for all of the links that I mentioned. And I hope you're having a wonderful time, a fantastic year, and a good homeschool year.